Welcome everybody. Today we're talking about music, and I'm here today with my friend Alice Dee again. And she really has a lot of topics that she did work on. So today we're going to talk about veganism and music, and I'm letting Alice Dee to, her introduce herself further.
Oh, yes, of course, I'd be happy to introduce myself. And thank you again so much for having me on your podcast, Vegaani. Really delighted to be able to speak about important topics like this. Anyway, my name is Alice Dee, and I'm a vegan animal rights activist and the label manager for Entheo Arts Music. I'm also the founder of We Care About Animals and the organizer of this for National Animal Rights Day in San Francisco for the past 2 years. And in my capacity as the NCR Arts label manager, I work with a number of committed vegan artists like Lady Peace, Rebel Dove, Sister Soul, Ja Rules, and Grateful Airplane. And these artists use their voices and their music to inspire compassion and help people see animals as individuals with their own lives and emotions. My focus in general is on supporting these artists in creating their music, and the music that we're planning, that we intend to publish, is generally intended to uplift, awaken, and encourage people to make kinder choices in their lives. It's a joy to help bring these messages into the world through an art form that's as compelling and exquisite as music. So I'm really happy to be a part of this important project.
Um, how does how do you see music uh functions as a tool for vegan outreach or activism?
Oh, well, music and activism often intersect, and I see music functioning as a tool for vegan advocacy and activism because it bypasses intellectual defenses and speaks directly to our emotional cores. And this is where real transformation begins in a human being. When an artist like Lady Peace expresses compassion, grief, or hope through a song for animals being harmed in factory farms, I think listeners feel it viscerally. I know I do. And when I hear Lady Peace's album Liberation, I really, really feel moved. So vegan activism can sometimes be confrontational. We've seen, activists going into grocery stores, putting labels on meat packages of meat, going into factory farms and rescuing sick and dying animals to take them to the vet, and other acts of deep compassion. And I think music. Allows a gentler doorway into the soul. It invites empathy on the part of the listener rather than demanding it with more confrontational forms of activism. In music, a single lyric or a melody can shift someone's perception of animals from objects to individuals worthy of our compassion, worthy of leaving off our plate. That emotional resonance is what makes music such a powerful advocacy tool for vegans, and why I am participating in this important project and spending a lot of my current time involved in creating and helping create music with these beautiful artists.
Like, mm, there. Okay. Um, mm, As a label manager for Anthologic Art Music, what is the mission behind the label?
Well, as I mentioned, I am the label manager of Entheo Arts Music, and the mission behind our label is, which is dedicated to uplifting music that supports awakening, spiritual, ethical, and emotional awakening. We work with artists who use their voices to inspire compassion, nonviolence, and connection with all sentient beings. Our mission is to amplify messages that help people rethink their relationship with animals, the planet, and each other, whether it's through vegan themes, spiritual reflection, advocating peace and love, or ecological awareness. We aim to publish music that genuinely moves people toward kinder choices that are better for themselves, better for the animals, and better for the planet in general.
Um, Lady Peace has become an recognizable voice in vegan music. What draws you to her work?
Oh, yes, Lady Peace is definitely one of the most outspoken vegan activists, I think, in terms of her music. She's dedicated an entire album called Liberation to animal rights, and she often puts vegan themes into her other songs like Growing Peace or Peace for All. Um, she has a rare combination of emotional vulnerability, uh, deep mystical spirituality, and fierce compassion. Her voice carries both softness and gentleness, and as well as powerful conviction, depending on her mood. As she's very variable and flexible in her ability to express different emotions. And this makes her music and her voice incredibly effective for activism. When she sings about animals, she isn't preaching, she's sharing a deeply felt truth that resonates with her spirituality and her background as a peace activist, and generally, someone who resonates strongly with hippie sentimentalities. That authenticity is what drew us to her, and why we work with her actively and promote her music um, so much. Is she writes from lived experience. She is herself a mystic and someone who's connected to a direct spirituality. And listeners, I think, can feel that sincerity in every track that she performs. She really puts her heart into her voice, and her compassion for animals is a big part of that heart.
Uh, what makes may oh may all beings live happy and free such an impactful track?
Oh, well, this is definitely one of my most my favorite songs by Lady Peace that has to do with the animal rights and liberation theme. It's called May All Beings Live Happy and Free, and it's actually just released. It was released today, so this is actually a very auspicious day for NTU Arts. This is a track that is a collaboration between Lady Peace and Sista Soul, and they come, from different backgrounds and different forms of artistry. They've decided to collaborate on this with being backed up by the jam band Grateful Airplane. So it's a wonderful song. It has a folk rock feeling to it, and it's really an anthem. It's essentially a musical prayer for universal compassion for all sentient beings. It relates to a Buddhist prayer for the same general concept. May all beings live happy and free. It's simple. It's heartfelt. We feel as though it's instantly relatable, even for people who aren't vegan. The melody is soothing. The folk rock sound is easily tolerated, and the message is profound. It reminds listeners that every being wants safety, joy, and freedom. It's activism basically wrapped in gentleness and kindness, which is why it resonates so widely across platforms like Spotify and YouTube. It's also available at Apple Music and Deezer and virtually every major streaming platform should have the song now. Again, it's called May All Beings Live Happy and Free by Lady Peace, Sista Soul, and Grateful Airplane.
Um, how do the listeners respond to the song I Am Not Food?
Oh, well, I Am Not Food was off Lady Peace's previous album called Liberation. And this entire album is dedicated to the animal liberation cause and singing songs largely from the perspective of animals trapped in factory farms or perhaps animals that have been abandoned, like cats and feral cats and so on. But I Am Not Food, I think, is one of the songs that touches me most deeply. And listeners as well often tell us that the song was a turning point for them. It's direct without being aggressive, and it gives animals a voice in a way that's hard to ignore. We can more easily put ourselves into the position of an animal in a factory farm if we hear Lady Peace singing about it. I am not food. So it is very, very powerful. The refrain is memorable and it's emotionally charged, making it ideal for activism videos and social media. Many people have shared that it helped them make the connection between the animals I love and the animals they consume, and start to leave animals off their plate as a result.
Um, what was the intent behind emotional tone um, of Liberate Me?
Oh, well, this is another song off the Liberation album. And again, it's written from the point of view of an animal trapped in a factory farm that is begging for liberation. And it's again written from the perspective of someone longing for freedom. It's haunting, but it's also something that humans can deeply relate to as well. Anyone who has ever felt trapped or misunderstood can relate to this powerful song. And the emotional bridge is intentional. When listeners empathize with the singer, the narrator of the piece, they begin to empathize with animals trapped in factory farms in a new way. So it's a song that we feel gently cracks open the heart towards those who are trapped in factory farms and desiring liberation and freedom.
Um, why why is it important to re- release a song as raw and heartbreaking as on Lament?
Oh, A Sow's Lament. Oh, A Sow's Lament is a story about the what it would feel like to be a pig, a mother pig trapped in a farrowing crate where she can not even turn around to comfort her babies. These are metal crates that they put mother pigs in. That they're basically not even able to turn around, and it's absolutely tragic. And they're starting to become illegal and not able to be used in parts of the United States because public outcry upon realizing that this is being done has been so dramatic. Um, this song gives voice to one of the most abused animals on the planet, which are mother pigs. It's raw, it's emotional, and it's intentionally uncomfortable so that people can realize how horrific their situation is. We released it because sometimes activism requires us to bear witness. The Save Movement, which is a group of people that get together to bear witness to animals on the way to slaughter and to give them water and comfort them in whatever ways they can. They bear witness to the tragedy of these animals' lives and the harm that is being caused to them for no good reason. Music allows people to feel that suffering without turning away, and that emotional impact can be transformative and lead people to a kinder lifestyle. So we feel that the Sow's Lament is one of the most powerful pieces in Lady Peace's vegan catalog, and that it really touches the heart. I know it touches mine, and I have a hard time listening to the powerful emotions expressed in that song.
Um, how does spirituality, especially the concept of um ataman, sorry, how to pronounce that word? Uh, uh,
Ahimsa?
oh,
Ahimsa?
oh, that is how you okay.
Yes,
It,
ahimsa.
interact with vegan activism in Lady Speaks work.
Oh, well, ahimsa, which is the name of a song, and also a concept in Buddhism that's very important. It is the principle of non-harming. It is a very important element of. It's also in, say, the Ten Commandments: "Thou shalt not kill," "Thou shalt not harm others." So it's really at the heart of veganism. I mean, we're about not harming others. So ahimsa is a very important principle. When Lady Peace sings about it in her song of the same name, she's reminding listeners that compassion is a spiritual practice, not just a dietary choice. This is something where her deep, authentic spirituality is helping to communicate the importance behind the principle of non harming. When you are directly involved and initiated into spiritual awareness, you realize that we are all connected, and that when we harm others, we're harming ourselves. So this helps, I think, understand why many spiritual people are vegan, and why veganism is often recommended for those engaged in sincere spiritual practice. Um, so many people come to veganism through ethics, others through health, perhaps, but spirituality adds a deeper, interconnected dimension. It frames veganism as a path of conscious living and intentional kindness to all living beings who share consciousness.
Um, what message does then uplifting tracks of liberation um to the confer?
Oh, okay. So the song "Liberation," again from Lady Peace's album of the same name, is a bit more uplifting. It's intending to convey and celebrate the possibility of a world where animals are free from exploitation and intentional harm. It's a hopeful song, energetic and forward-looking. It frames the entire album, which is a concept album. So it starts the album, and then it finishes the album with different arrangements. Activism can be heavy, and it can be something that people have a hard time coping with emotionally. The things that they're exposed to harm hurt them. And so that's why they are activists. They are activists in response to the pain that they feel, the suffering that they feel, the empathy that they feel for other creatures being harmed. So it's important to balance our grief with vision. And so this song is a more visionary song, and it reminds listeners that change is possible, and that every compassionate choice contributes to a more peaceful world that presumably we all would like to live in.
Um, what message does oh, alright, it's Ascot. Why is the high, highlighting animal sentience such an important theme in the song of kindness, returns, and sentience?
Oh. Okay, so many of Lady Peace's songs, like Kindness Returns and Sentience, highlight the inner lives of animals. And this theme is important because recognizing animals as sentient beings, i.e., those who are capable of suffering and feeling, sensation, is foundational to vegan ethics. When people understand that animals feel joy, fear, love, and grief, exploitation becomes harder to justify. These creatures feel pain, they suffer. It is up to us to alleviate that suffering by not participating in the entire factory farming industries. So by boycotting animal products, we help to clear our consciences and our hands of the blood of these innocent creatures. These songs, I think, help listeners connect emotionally with that truth. They're reminders that animals are someone, not something. And that message is woven throughout Lady Peace's animal liberation work and her liberation album. So I really do, if you're interested in the topic, it is very much a must listen album. As it really does communicate a lot of the themes of animal rights activism and why animal liberation is such a compelling um, field of activism for so many people these days.
Mm, how do you choose which artists to sign to and now and use art music?
Oh, okay. We choose, okay, in terms of what artists we choose to sign for Entheo Arts music, perhaps I should mention what Entheo Arts is. Entheo means the divine within. And when it's combined with words like the Entheo Arts, it means the divine within arts. And music is an element of the Entheo Arts project. So Entheo Arts is a broader project that includes both books and music and spiritual artistry, as well, and I focus primarily on the music element. So when it comes to musical artists, we look for artists who create from a place of authenticity and compassion. Yes, of course, technical skill matters, but their heart really matters more, and that's what qualifies them to be a part of the label. All of our artists are vegan, and we feel as though that's an essential element in order for us to be able to assess whether, in fact, they care about their fellow creatures. We want musicians who understand the power of art to lift consciousness. These individuals are all spiritually aware. They have had direct experiences of the divine, and they can sing authentically from that position of direct knowing. And they're committed to using their voices for good. These are all bodhisattvas, really. They're all looking to help bring others to a place of kindness and spiritual awareness. Whether they focus on veganism, spirituality, ecological themes, or even just interpersonal crises, love, peace, etc., the core requirement is integrity with compassion and kindness.
That sounds lovely. Um, how does the how does the label support artists in um um with yes, their activists?
Oh, okay. So we help artists amplify their activism, first of all, by publishing them. Every artist really wants to sit there and create music. They don't really want to sit there and do all the details necessary to promote that music and distribute it to, say the 25 major streaming label organizations that are available at the present time. So they want to be able to create and then hand that creation off to a music label like ourselves to promote for them. We also help artists shape their message, as well as refine their sound. We give them feedback on their created pieces. If we think that something would perhaps be done better, then we suggest that and perhaps give them technical support on making that happen. We also, like for example, on the Liberation album, because of my experience in animal rights activism, I consulted extensively with the songwriter and lyricist to make sure that the themes were authentically expressed and reflected my direct understanding and observations of how animals are treated on factory farms. So we do provide that sort of level of involvement. We help them reach audiences who resonate with compassionate music. So we do promotion to various sources that are sympathetic to vegan music or peace-oriented music or ecologically supportive music, etc. And spiritual music. We also provide guidance on visual storytelling. We discuss our social media strategy with them, and we collaborate with activists and organizations interested in using their music, perhaps for activism purposes. Like, for example, the National Animal Rights Day event in San Francisco will feature Lady Peace and Sister Soul and Grateful Airplane's new song, May All Beings Live Happy and Free, in the ceremony portion of the event. So this is a way for us to have some musical accompaniment to a powerful ceremony memorializing animals that have been harmed. Our goal is to help artists not only create beautiful music, but also to maximize its impact as a form of activism. And so this is not just a financial exercise, this is an exercise of helping to counteract some of the negativity that we see presently dominating the airwaves, and to bring authentic spirituality and compassion into the, I guess, the sonic environment that humans live in at the present time.
Mm, what role does social media plays in spreading vegan and music, team music?
Oh, well, social media is I guess it's the popular voice rather than the mainstream media, which is very controlled, and it's sometimes very difficult to get vegan audience, vegan information out through mainstream media. So social media is absolutely crucial for vegan activism. And in terms of spreading vegan music, social media is essential again because it allows the vegan music to reach people who might never seek out vegan content. A single clip on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook can introduce thousands of people to a message of compassion. Music is highly shareable, and it tends to get attention. And when it's paired with powerful visuals, it becomes a form of vegan activism that spreads organically and helps more people experience the vegan message.
Um, how do younger generations engage with vegan music and activism to art?
Oh, well, younger listeners are more receptive in general, and they are incredibly receptive to ethical messaging, especially when it's delivered through art like music. They value authenticity, and they are quick to support artists like Lady Peace, who stand for something meaningful. Vegan music gives them a way to express their values and feel part of a larger movement, to play their songs that they resonate with, that they feel touch a part of their hearts, and that maybe they felt isolated. They may have felt that they didn't know anyone who was vegan, but now through Lady Peace, they know somebody who's vegan. So it's a great way to promote veganism. A little bit like Billie Eilish has done, and other vegan artists,
Yeah,
Moby, etc.
Alice,
These vegan
Lush.
artists. Yep, yep. These vegan artists all provide a face of veganism, and I think it's important for veganism to have a face. And vegan music gives them a way to feel a part of that movement. And it's inspiring to see how quickly young people embrace it. They are very much enthusiastic about being kind to animals. Most many humans are raised with animals, the dogs or cats in their household, maybe birds, and they start to see how these creatures are emotional, how they love, how they feel fear, how they don't like being harmed, etc. So once you see that in your dog or cat, it's pretty easy to understand that a pig is, or a sheep, or a cow, or a chicken is also going to not like to be harmed. And once you realize that chunk of meat on your plate comes from an animal who was treated cruelly in a factory farm and then murdered in a slaughterhouse, you start to lose your taste for it, I think. Your heart overrides your taste buds, and you say, well, I don't want to contribute to that anymore. And so, young people are increasingly turning away from the cruelty that their parents are putting on their plates.
What challenges do vegan musicians face in the music world?
Oh, well, I see the biggest challenging is that ethical messaging can be seen as niche, even though compassion, of course, is universal. Some music distribution platforms hesitate to promote content that challenges the status quo. They don't want to lose their donors. They don't want to lose their supporters because they're actively promoting vegan music. So I think the landscape is changing, though. More listeners are seeking music with depth and purpose, with meaning, with spiritual content, with heartfelt concern for their fellow creatures. Vegan artists are starting to find their audience, and that audience is growing. I mean, for example, Lady Peace's music, I think, is particularly effective for activism because her voice carries emotional truth and spiritual awareness. Her lyrics that she sings are both poetic and direct, and she has a gift for expressing the inner world of animals in a way that feels deeply human, that comes from her compassion and empathy for her fellow creatures. It's real, and you can hear it in her voice. That emotional accessibility is what makes her music so effective. It invites empathy without forcing it on anyone. She's a storyteller, and activism thrives on storytelling through music.
Mm, what? Earlier. How do you manage the impact of music on vegan activism?
Well, I'd say that how do we measure the impact of music on vegan activism? Okay.
Huh?
Well, impact is shows up in messages from listeners who say a song helped them go vegan. Lady Peace gets this quite often. She'll get heartfelt messages from people saying they just love her music. Thank you so much for putting these beautiful sentiments out in music. And if a listener writes and says, "Hey, your song helped me go vegan," well, or rethink their food choices, or feel less alone as a vegan, then really, her work has hit home. That's exactly what she is trying to achieve. It shows up in activists using our music in their videos. Making social media posts with Lady Peace's music attached to it, which you can easily do, and genuinely sharing information in their outreach, such as from sanctuaries or educators using it in presentations. So um, and of course, the National Animal Rights Day using Lady Peace and Sister Souls and Grateful Airplane's new single, May All Beings Live Happy and Free, in their memorial ceremony. These are important places that music and arts can have an important part. Um, and music creates emotional openings in people, and those openings often lead to action and activism down the road. So, we are really looking to balance our artistry with advocacy when we're producing music for NTU Arts. And I think the key is to let the message flow naturally through the art rather than forcing it. When a song is emotionally authentic, sung by a deeply involved singer like Lady Peace, the activism really becomes part of its essence. We're focusing on creating music that stands on its own artistically while still carrying a meaningful message like, peace and love and compassion for our fellow creatures. And I think that's balance is what makes the work both beautiful and impactful. So, we do find that, measuring impact of music is also measured through the number of streams we receive. And the more streams, we feel that the more impact has been created.
Okay. Uh, what upcoming projects can listeners look forward for from and during art music?
Oh, well, NCU Arts Music has a number of new releases out. In addition to May All Beings Live Happy and Free, which is the one that I really, really wanted to encourage everyone to listen to, and Liberation, which is an older album but still very, very pertinent, by Lady Peace. Lady Peace has a beautiful new album out called Dawn's Daughter, which I just find is such a powerful album. It talks a lot about her personal journey. It's somewhat autobiographical, and it just has some amazing songs. It talks a little bit about reincarnation and her experience there. Her song "Echoes of Lives Before" is just one of the most touching songs I've ever heard on the subject of reincarnation. So very, very interesting song. Also, her songs Dawn's Daughter is really kind of an anthem, talking about her own life and her coming into her personal power as a singer. Um, Grateful Airplane is releasing regularly, both on its own albums, as well as a backup uh, jam band for various other artists. Ja Rules has just put out an interesting song. He's one of our other artists, more in the reggae genre, and he's put out a new happy birthday song. So if you know anyone who's having a birthday, it's going to be coming out, I think, on May 15th or 16th. So you can look for that. It's a really fun reggae happy birthday song. So I recommend that. But each artist is really exploring new sonic territory and new themes while staying rooted in compassion driven ideas and concepts. We're also working on a collaborative project that blends music with visual storytelling to help deepen the emotional impact. Things like taking some of I didn't mention Alice and the Caterpillar, but they're kind of the electronic music um, artist on the NCO Arts label, and they have been exploring things like they're bringing their music to planetariums. They have a lot of sort of cosmic music. One of their big hits is called Interstellar, and that from the album Interstellar, and that is a combination of psychedelic trance with cosmic, I guess, and spiritual imagery and lyrics. So yes, definitely check those out. Those are very interesting. And they've also done other spiritual albums, like their sacred dance album called Namaste, which is based on a Hindu greeting that is means the divine within me salutes or recognizes the divine within you.
Oh,
Um, Anyway, so yeah, just generally looking to blend music with visual storytelling and really touch people emotionally and spiritually.
um, what message would you like the listeners um, with news using the message for veganism.
Oh, in terms of, I guess, a message that we'd like to leave listeners with, well, I'd say that, music has been and still is one of the most powerful tools we have for awakening compassion and spirituality in our fellow humans. Whether you're an artist or a listener, you can use music to amplify kindness, challenge cultural norms, and inspire change. And this is something we've seen since the 60s. Music was a very powerful driver of activism in the 1960s, and it continues to be a driver of activism to the current day. So every song that honors animals that you listen to helps shift the world toward greater empathy, and sharing them with your friends, letting people know that you support the artists. This is just so important because they need that support from you. They want to know that you're listening. They want to know that you care. They want to know that you support their message. So if you could please take a moment and check them out, that would be so beautiful for them. They really would be grateful. And I think that shift begins with each of us, towards greater empathy. It begins with each of us choosing to live and create our art, for our artworks with intention, and bringing our awareness in life of the harms that go on in factory farms, and to the public, just to make everyone aware of what is happening. And if they are kind people, then they should turn away from it, just as every ethical vegan already has. And it's not difficult to be an ethical vegan. I've been an ethical vegan for a long time, and it's something that I consider an important part of my um, contribution to the world.
Ah, ah, I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit tired. It was nice having you today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on your podcast, Vegaani. It's been a delight, and I hope that your listeners enjoy the music that our artists have created with love and kindness and compassion for all sentient beings.
Mhm. I hope also. I hope also the
May all
people.
beings may all beings live happy and free.
Yeah, I hope also people going to check out the artist I'm showing right now. I have your uh website open, so and I was scrolling, so in the list right now. Um,
Oh, wonderful.
so I hope everybody has a good day, and I hope to see everybody back on Monday when I'm doing again some art streams. So I think I'm going to draw. I think I'm going to work on practicing drawing different types of birds again.